There were actual streamers streaming this game. They negotiated to be one of the sponsored streamers. And then these flagrant, pitiful scoundrels negotiated their own deal, probably charged way more than a lot of those streamers could, and walked away with money they didn't deserve because they don't actually have viewers. They just have people who have an embedded player on their website playing in the background as they're looking up their wiki information that's probably inaccurate. Many of you who have discovered me as a creator found me because of my jabbing at Fextra Life and their poor embedding, poor user experience, leveraging the Twitch embed for unethical sponsorships on their page, false viewership metrics being presented that allowed them to even get these kinds of sponsorships. So it's nice to see something that's actually coming full circle. We're gonna watch this. It's a half an hour long video, so I mean, we'll see how I can edit this down to make it close to half an hour. If not, it's probably going to be more like 45 minutes. So it probably won't get a lot of viewership, but it's still a topic that I want to react to because it's important to me.
Yeah, so take a look at this. So there's been a long-standing conversation about embedding.
Right.
Embedding in World of Warcraft, or not World of Warcraft did it a little bit, but like mainly New World is a culprit of this, and then there's also F Extra Life. Like if you go to their website, let's see, are they live right now? I mean, I guess we'll find out by just seeing what the top channels are. Let's go ahead and take a look here. Looks like they're not, so that's probably, oh yeah, here we go. This guy right here has 8,000 viewers. Now, if you go into his chat, you know, clearly all of the conversations here are just bullshit, and there's not really that many people actually watching him, right? He does not have 8,000 people that are actually in the stream. And so this has been a problem for a long time on Twitch. Because the reason why, it's just the same 3 mods in his chat. Yeah, I actually, to be honest, was surprised there was anybody there. But anyway, so this guy is a Viewbotter embedder. New World database has this same stuff too. You go ahead and you open up the New World subreddit here, and they also have an embedded stream. And so if you go,
to be fair, the New World database embed is even worse because at least they have someone who's playing games from F Extra Life. New World Database, they're just linking to some channel that's playing Skyrim music on a loop or something.
Over and you look at the stream that's being embedded, this is a person who has 1,000 viewers. So really all they're doing here is they're just...
they've been live for 41 hours.
Basically using this as a way to farm as many ads as possible without actually having these viewers, right? So this is...
And they have a charity, St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. So you're allowed to follow, and they'll farm ads off you. And if you want, you can donate while you're here to a charity of their choice.
This is a way to farm as many ads as possible without actually having these viewers, right? So this is clearly a kind of a scam. Is that against TOS? No, it's not. It's not against TOS. And so anyway, a stream like this gets views. So this is kind of like what happens, right? Is that with a lot of embedded views, you don't really get ads played on the embedded views, but
you're able to present yourself with falsified metrics of viewership, which is the only metric that you can actually present to prospective advertisers if you negotiate in a one-on-one situation and say, hey, we're seeking sponsorships. We think that we would be a great fit with your product. Here's our demographics. Here's how many viewers we get. Even though you don't actually get that amount of viewers, it's just people who have opened web pages on your wiki that you've search engine optimized for them to land on that page. And if they happen to stay there for 5-10 minutes, there's enough of that volume moving in and out that it seems like you have this huge viewership that you actually don't. And at points, it seems like they had 30,000 viewers more. But in actuality, it's probably like 50 people, maybe. There's some dedicated followers, some moderators who I guess are happy with their situation there and are willing to participate in the facade.
Like, if I go over and I'll explain kind of like why this is a problem. Twitch tracker, let's go ahead and just look at this real quick. And where's F Extra Life? So this guy right here are these people here. It's not just one person. So let's go ahead and see here. Do you think it should be against TOS? Yeah. Yeah, I think
It should be.
I'll explain why. And so anyway, rank 37 on the entire platform. So out of all the streamers on the entire platform, F Extra Life is ranked number 37. And so those spikes right there are from, and again, like you look at this, like
For a person who probably has the same level of professionalism on their stream as I do, arguably worse, because, you know, I uploaded that video recently where the guy just had a black screen while he was playing Cyberpunk and had no idea because he wasn't paying any attention to his chat. And I'm thinking, why don't you pay attention to your chat at all? Sure, you have a bunch of people there, but you set it so that only followers who have been following for a minimum of 30 days can chat. So you know the vast majority of them are your loyalists. They're not there to annoy you or tell you something that isn't true. So why are you ignoring them when they're all saying, wow, what a great black screen? I sat there for like 10 minutes saying, is he ever going to notice?
this is a person who had 60,000 viewers. That's the number right here. So you look at this person's stream, 60,000 viewers down.
I don't like follower or sub only chat. I'll leave. I will too. I see the buttons and I'm like, I never will ever see a reason to activate this. The only thing I think I would ever do is if I knew that I was coming to a big scene in a game and I wanted to make the decision for myself and people were trying to ruin that experience, I might flip it on just for like, or like the emote only chat feature. I would do that for like a few minutes and then flip it back off. You know what I mean? But yeah, holding people to having to subscribe in order to interact with you kind of defeats the point of Twitch to me in general.
Down to 18,000 viewers. Have you ever seen a stream that goes on for 4 hours with 17,000 viewers that only gains 92 followers? Right, so this is clearly a view-botting Andy, right? Now, why is this a problem? Why is having a lot of viewers from embedding a problem?
Because people will treat Twitch as a place that you can't truly advertise on, and any other attempts to seek out sponsorship or advertising spots for actual Twitch streamers will be hurt by this behavior, by this conduct.
Now, it's a problem for, honestly, it's primarily a problem for streamers, right? So...
But surely people would want to sub just to chat. You know, you're right, Mathster. Is there a way that I can just, like, per user, say this person can only chat with me if they have a sub? I'm going to just put that on Mathster right now. No, I'm just playing.
The reason why it's a problem for streamers is that if you go to the cyberpunk category, this person should not be here. And because this person is here, this person is not here. And everything on Twitch operates in a zero-sum environment. There are only so many placement slots at the top of a directory, and those placement slots need to be earned by people, or at least obtained in a way that is not completely artificial. So what ends up happening here is that you have somebody like this who is view-botting themselves or embedding, again, functionally the same thing, themselves up to the top of a directory, and then suppressing all of the legitimate streamers down farther below that. Basically, what ends up happening is that people who deserve the viewership, people who deserve to have that placement, don't get that placement. And instead, the person who's cheating does get it.
And you can make arguments about how, oh, but look how many streams that are legitimate are being displayed on the screen. Surely our people are going to be able to pick out like, oh, I'm not going to go to this massive stream. I'm going to go to one of these other streams where either I'm more attracted to the streamer, not necessarily sexually, but however, there are some people who make that judgment call. But there's this feature that exists. It's not being displayed right now, but when you're looking at certain categories, it'll just automatically start showing someone like in the top banner, the live stream. If you sort by high to low, it'll start playing Fextra Life Stream live, potentially with volume. I don't know how it like defaults or whatever. I find it quite annoying as a user, but they do that. And so by being in this top slot, they're affording themselves that feature, which is totally unfair to anyone who's doing this on a reasonable, basis.
And how did this, and I think, again, this mainly affects streamers. So I can understand why, like, some people might not really, like, isn't that functionally the same? Now, Amazon clearly has no issues with embedded streams driving views. They could clearly make them not count towards view count. I'm going to get to that, but it's going to take me some time, okay? Just be patient. So anyway, that's how it hurts streamers. Now, also, how does it hurt advertisers? Another way that it hurts the platform is that it hurts the platform in terms of advertisers, right? And I'm going to give you an example.
Advertisers will be less inclined to advertise on Twitch because they know that this behavior exists, and there's no metrics in the way that Google provides YouTube metrics, which are there's so many different ways you can break it down to help an advertiser figure out, okay, this is where I want to place my ad. Whereas your only real course of action as an advertiser for Twitch is how many average views does this person do? That's really all you have. And then maybe there's a certain theme or personality around the streamer.
Example of advertisers being hurt by this practice, okay? So we're going to take a look at this article here. This is an article written, it was about, looks like about a week ago or so, 2 weeks ago. And Immortals of Avenum was a very popular game that was broadcast to a bunch of people whenever it came out, right? It had a huge marketing push, millions of dollars behind it. And I want to go ahead and draw attention to like one paragraph here. And if you look at this here, let me go ahead and see here. If you've been on Twitter and Twitch this last week, you've seen a bunch of streamers playing Immortals of Avenum, but as part of the sponsored ad campaigns, you can just search Immortals of Avenum ad on Twitter and see dozens and dozens of streamers who've been part of the campaign. To me, this shows the limits of a streamer-based ad campaign. This has been an absolute flood of sponsored streams, which no doubt cost EA a pretty penny. So what he's saying basically is that EA spent a tremendous amount of money on promoting Immortals of Avenum, right? Well, here's what the problem is. So if you look at, for example, Fextra Life, they actually were one of the people who got sponsored by Immortals of Avenum.
I was malding in his chat because some people kept bringing up that this doesn't affect them, so it's okay. Yeah, I mean, that's just a stupid mentality. Oh, this doesn't affect me, so why should it matter? Okay, let's just not talk about anything ever then. It's an important subject to me. Obviously, I'm biased because I'm also a streamer, but what the viewers fail to realize is that what's going to happen is that it's going to negatively affect the user experience in a way that advertisers will only deal with Amazon, i.e. Twitch, directly. And it's more of that abstracting away the ability for the streamer to negotiate and create deals for themselves. And instead, they're at the mercy of whatever Twitch decides. And Twitch can just decide to run ads whenever they want. In the same sense that whenever I start my stream right now, I'm forced to run a pre-roll ad within the first minute that lasts 3 minutes, and then every hour following have to play 3 minutes of ads. Like, if I don't do that, then I don't get the same level of AdSense share that other people do. And I don't know if it negatively affects where I get placed. I don't think there's any merit to that. But I mean, when you're trying to make when you're trying to cause the least amount of pain for your viewer, like I see these sponsorships that I could potentially take through like Stream Elements, for example. But I see what I have to do in order to fulfill those, and all I can think is that this would be a crappy user experience. And I know that at higher levels of Twitch, I think if you're a partner, there are things like bounties that you can take where you essentially just in the moment do some kind of sponsored ad. These things kind of take away from the positive viewer experience that viewers want. And the more that this is allowed to happen, the more that the big guys kind of win out and there's less freedom on the creator to make fun ads. When you think about an ad placement by like Internet Historian, those are great. The fact that they have the freedom to represent the brand that they want in a comedic fashion and it makes the advertisers happy, there should be more of that. But as time goes on, there's less of that because of the way that people are trying to cheat the system.
And you can see it right here with their, because this is the website, it's twitchtracker.com. So you can look and see Immortals of Avenum, hashtag ad, hashtag sponsored by EA, right? So how much do you want to bet that a lot of the marketing budget that was meant for real streamers was spent on F Extra Life? You see what I'm saying? So like they ate up the marketing budget that real streamers deserve to have.
There were actual streamers streaming this game. They negotiated to be one of the sponsored streamers. And then these pieces of negotiated their own deal, probably charged way more than a lot of those streamers could, and walked away with money they didn't deserve because they don't actually have viewers. They just have people who have an embedded player on their website playing in the background as they're looking up their wiki information that's probably inaccurate.
And the outcome of that is articles that are calling into question the entire effectiveness of streamer marketing, thus hurting every streamer, causing them to maybe make less money or have people lose confidence in streamer promotions.
Right.
So they're causing everybody to lose money because they're taking sponsorships like this and they're broadcasting it to 0 viewers. Nobody gives a shit. That's why they lost 260 followers during the stream. And guess what happens? Nobody sticks around to play the game. No real people are seeing the game. And regardless of whether the game is good or not, these people didn't deserve to get scammed. And they did. They did get scammed. I can guarantee you that they were probably, because here's a good way to look.
And what's an interesting perspective is some people might say, well, okay, so you're scamming Electronic Arts. They're a huge company. Them. Okay, but you still have to think full circle back to, yeah, maybe it's not Asmongold or Carnage, who are well-established streamers who might be doing pretty well for themselves. But there's the trickle-down effect of some of these smaller creators who might have actually managed to get sponsored for this game. And over time, as Zach said, there's less confidence in this avenue of advertisement. So there's going to be less opportunity for the streamer to make money for themselves doing something that they would love to do. Being able to just play a game and say, hey, I'm sponsored to play this game, come watch, that's one of the best sponsorships that you can get. Rather than me in the middle having to go, this stream is brought to you by Bloggin Legends.
Look at it. How can you possibly quantify what the value of your stream promotion is if you don't have actual numbers? Because they embed every single time. And what do you think they're using? Do you think they're using the amount of views that they get from embedding? Or do you think they're using their total views?
Total.
Well, they're going to be using their total views, including the ones that they get from embedding. So, using followings every stream. Yeah, of course, naturally. I mean, it makes sense, right? And so anyway, and this is only one example, right? There are a lot of other content creators who do the same thing. It should fall on the marketing firm as well. Oh yeah, no, you're definitely...
Okay, but there are so many different ways that the marketing agencies can choose to advertise. You think that they're going to sit down and start heavily researching the legitimacy of Twitch? Like, by the time they get through their research, they're just going to decide it's not worth advertising on Twitch anymore. Let's just not do it. Like, they can't take time to sit there and vet every single channel. And you can't start introducing a certification system because there's not enough metrics to present that will allow Twitch to make an informed decision on who should be certified and who should not. It would create an impossible barrier to entry. The thing that you have to do is represent the numbers in a more meaningful, honest way. And the way that you do that is you allow Twitch embeds to continue to exist, but you don't allow them to count a viewer count. But if they do that, that massively hurts the viewership numbers of Twitch. They're just going to go to YouTube or Rumble or Kick, depending on their flavor of stream.
Definitely right. The marketing firm should have been more discerning. They should have known this. They were stupid for sponsoring them, absolutely. But these people are also bad for taking advantage of it, right? Both parties are bad. I'm surprised advertisers don't pick up on this, do they? I have no idea if they do or not. But anyway, I've heard...
I feel like in some cases, there's a marketing head honcho, if you will. And then there are your marketing agent underlings who are all tasked with spending a certain amount of budget in certain avenues of advertising. This person isn't going to go through their day trying to figure out whether or not this channel's vetted, this channel's vetted. They got a budget, they have to spend it, they spent it. Hey boss, here are the numbers. I spent money on this stream that's getting 8,000 average viewers, so 8,000 faces saw the ad. Great job, Johnson, you deserve a promotion. The head honcho's not going to go research and see if that was legitimate. These numbers benefit the advertiser in a sense.
From multiple people in the industry that it is problematic, but you know, I don't really have like a lot of details to share with that. And so anyway, the point is that you have people like this who are, and I want to, and so the point that I'm making, right, I'm trying to build a foundation of, so it hurts streamers because of the zero-sum environment of Twitch and the innate viewership, the aggregation, and how obviously the higher viewer streams are the most promoted. It's snowball effect. So that's how it hurts streamers. How does it hurt advertisers? Well, it hurts advertisers in this way. And why do advertisers, because a lot of you guys are probably going to say, let me, like, I don't give a fuck about if advertisers get hurt or not. Right? A lot of people probably don't care. That's totally fine. I don't really give a fuck if EA gets scammed or not that much either.
But
right?
explain why it hurts the viewer experience.
But the reason why it's problematic is because these actions have a ripple effect on everywhere. So, like, for example, streamers won't have as much money to invest into cool events because the people that are paying for the events won't be paying as much money. People will be less invested in Twitch as a whole. If advertising dollars go down on Twitch as a whole, then you're going to see less support for Twitch. You're going to see less chances for the bit rate of a certain game or certain streams to be increased. Like, this has been a big problem. It's becoming a bigger problem now that graphics are becoming more granular and more higher fidelity. And so more higher fidelity, right? And so that's how it hurts you as a viewer, right? And it also hurts you as a viewer because if you are not a discerning viewer, the reason why most streams are aggregated this way.
Yeah, if you're not a discerning viewer, you look for the highest possible viewership, you click into that stream, you further bolster their stream without even realizing that you're being duped. I mean, let's be honest. Some people are really stupid and they just fall for it. And then you end up in this channel and you're thinking, wow, I mean, there's a lot of people here, but I'm really getting to say my piece because nobody else is, like, talking over me. I don't get lost in the void like I do on Asmongold's channel. You know what I mean?
Is that there is a general trend. I'm not saying that there's a one-to-one, but there is a general trend that viewership and entertainment value have a correlation. And if you scroll down to streamers that have 61 viewers, they are going to be, on average, less entertaining than streamers that have 6,100 viewers. So, basically, you are effectively being fed bad streams, and those are the ones that are being promoted to you the most. Not true? It is true. I've streamed for 7 years. I don't... Who would be more qualified than me to talk about this? Who who possibly would be more qualified than me? By the way, people mention Soda Pop and XQC. They'll say the same thing I do. And so anyway, I've talked to them. We're very much on the same wavelength. And
yeah.
Because we know this. And so anyway, the point is that this does hurt viewers. And it makes it to where Twitch seems less interesting. Like, imagine if it's your first time on Twitch and the first thing you pull up is this garbage. A completely boring stream with no chat interaction, nothing going on. That's going to be your first impression of Twitch.
It's just a dude playing games, making lame jokes. And I mean, yeah, so am I. But at least when you click in and you see 6 viewers, that's what you expect. I just happen to look over and see that's how many I have right now. I'm just making an example. You understand what I'm saying. You look at 8,000 viewers, you formulate an opinion in your mind. Your first judgment, your first impression is like, wow, this place is popping off. It must be actually happening in here. Let's go have a chat. Go have a chat with the mods. The 3 mods. Every once in a while, maybe there's like a cat cam or something. Huh.
Well, a lot of people probably aren't going to stick around. So anyway, let's go back and we're gonna. So that's the foundation of how this is bad for basically everybody, and this is why I think it's bad. So I've explained all that, and now let's go ahead and move forward. So there's been a lot of conversation about this. A number of people on Twitter have been unhappy about this happening, and recently, it seems like Dan Clancy, the CEO of Twitch, seems to actually be doing something about it. Dan Clancy asked King Galothian, right, and he's one of the most outspoken people that is negative about embedding, to put together a list of sites like F Extra Life to block today. He just worked on it on stream and sent it in. Said you and Co had a big part. I want to say, guys, also, huge shout out to Quinn. Quinn was also very outspoken about this. Thank you, Quinn. A lot of you guys have been outspoken. A lot of other streamers have been.
Also, maybe?
I don't want to just say it's 1 or 2 people. This has been a big issue for many years.
I'll take that.
And I will be so happy if this finally gets resolved. Yeah, I can go out there and Quinn, Co. Yes, thank you guys. And also, most importantly, thank you to the viewers. Thank you guys. This has been a problem, and I understand that this is primarily a Twitch problem. This is primarily a streamer problem. And I appreciate you guys supporting us and trying to uphold the integrity of our platform for what it's worth.
Also, what is this other previous message from a different day? Those tentacles are pretty oof. What? What is that about? Anyway, yeah, that is great that they're actually trying to take action. I'm still holding on bated breath what that action is exactly.
Thanks. It seems like something might actually happen. So yeah. That's just what I wanted to say. It's kind of funny, like I had like a fucking 30-minute lead up to this, but this is really where it comes from. It's been an ongoing issue in Escape from Tarkov as well. Yeah, I don't really know a lot about Escape from Tarkov, so I can't really speak on that or talk about that a lot.
I don't understand what that means at all.
Viewers. Only a fool would think that there are 600 people that are actively on the Power Gun website at any given time. It's silly. That's obviously not what's going on. Tarkov ammo chart has the same thing. That's not my issue. I don't really stream Tarkov. I don't know about that. But yeah, obviously embedding is problematic. And the truth is that it is amazing to see hopefully something happening because of it. Thank God. Yep, there we go. So it looks like embedding is actually going to be curtailed, right? You use Twitch for a different reason, embedding is fine. It adds to their website. Well, I would think the same way that you did if I didn't think, but unfortunately, I've thought about the issue, so I don't have the same opinion that you do. And that's okay, right? I mean, like, again, it's not your responsibility to be educated on everything. But, you know, you want to go in there and, you know, put your opinion out there and talk about what you think. Well, then that's what's going to happen. Embedding the right way can be beneficial in some extent. And I don't think that embedding... I'm not sure if embedding should be wholesale removed or destroyed. But I think that the people that abuse it on... like,
it should be used, but implemented as a good user experience. And the people that we're calling out are creating poor user experiences that only benefit them as creators. They don't benefit the viewer whatsoever.
Like an every single day basis to farm the top of a directory in every single game that they play.
Right.
I think that's very problematic. And I think that stopping the worst offenders like FXtra Life, which is the worst offender, that's the first step. That is the first step. It just shouldn't add to view count. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I'm not saying they should get banned. I just don't think it should add to view count. What about...
I'm dying to see them make that call. You know, Dan Clancy in that interview with Quinn was all about, you know, it's very easy to think that you can just go in and make changes, but there's a lot of like legacy software that you can't simply just change automatically. It might be more difficult than some people think. I'm like, okay, that's very nice, but you could put resources into it. The only reason you don't put resources into it is because this doesn't make you money. But what it will do is earn good faith of not only viewership, but your streamers and your advertisers. The whole ecosystem will give you a massive W stamp if you stamp out Fextra Life, because I'm dying to see what those numbers look like when you don't count embeds. When you don't count embeds, please show them have like 20 viewers at max and let 15 of them be moderators. That's what I want to see so badly. This was the part where people just don't understand the argument and don't understand what embedding is. They think embedding is view botting categorically. Yeah, well, I mean, some people are just stupid.
Luxos that embed on their personal sites, like not a business, just his personal site that he runs for his WeakAura and WoW UI stuff. I don't agree with any embedding. I don't think any embedding is acceptable at all, really. I think that some of it...
I really like Zach. I think a lot of the things that he says are well thought out and have a great basis for common sense in terms of his thinking. That comes from a place of ignorance. There are absolutely practical uses for embedding. If I make a website and I create a specialized page where I can have my stream embedded and you can see the chat, but then I create a bunch of user interface buttons that are connected to commands that allow you to interact with my stream, then I'm making a page that's dedicated to my stream that enhances the viewership and customizes the experience for my viewers. That's just like, that's something that's a great use of a Twitch embed. I think he's just referring to Twitch embedding exclusively. That's what I'm talking about. Twitch embedding. There are great uses to embed in Twitch. Yeah, a page about your stream absolutely should have an embed. Why not? Of course. Like, sure, you could just create a page that has a bunch of buttons, but then if you can't see what's happening, or having to have 2 tabs open at the same time, like, I will gladly lose one live viewer if someone wants to go to my personal website and start interacting with the interface that I gave them. Because then I can start, you know, presenting advertisements that I might have negotiated on my website with people on a personal level, you know? There's all kinds of ways that this can be done in an ethical manner that makes sense. But we all know what Fextra Life is doing on their website is bullshit.
Of it, there's a spectrum of like what's good and what's bad, and it's also like if you're embedding your stream and it's giving you 10 extra viewers, it doesn't really matter because the effect is lower. It's kind of like if you're speeding and you're driving 200 miles an hour. This is obviously bad, but if you hit somebody, it's 10 times worse because the effect of the action matters more than the action itself, right? The outcome of the action. So whenever you're embedding and you know, it's not really massively changing the directory, you're not embedding for a massive amount of viewers, well, then it's not really as big of a deal. Do you see kind of where I'm coming from? So you're not principled, you just worry about if it affects you or your friends? Yes, because the principle is that it affects me or my friends. That's exactly right. So the principle is the effect. This isn't really like, is embedding a principally bad thing? Let's be real, right? So let's look at it. We'll look at this logically, right? So we'll go back to my 200 mile an hour logic. So if nobody was ever affected by driving 200 miles an hour, who here would be saying 200 miles an hour is bad? Why can't everybody drive 200 miles an hour all the time? Because if nobody was affected by it, then who cares? But the problem is because people are affected. Most bad things are not bad inside of a vacuum. They're bad because of the effect they have on other people. I mean, I understand. I probably should go back and just ban that person because they...
yeah, they're stupid. Please ban them.
Clearly just like a hostile person talking shit. But looks like I can't really find where they were. But anyway, it doesn't really matter. Embedding itself is not a bad thing, but what's bad is how easily it's abused. Yeah, exactly. Couldn't people like have Extra Life just show VODs on their site if the point was to only show that there are real people playing games?
Right.
Embedding seems...
That's exactly what they should do. Because Fextra Life also has a YouTube, by the way. But it doesn't rake in the ad revenue that they're currently raking in if they started to use YouTube videos instead. If I go to your Baldur's Gate 3 wiki on Fextra Life, you should embed a relevant video, whether it's a tutorial because you're giving a guide, you give a video that accompanies the written guide that you have. Good embed. Twitch embedding, the fact that you're playing Cyberpunk right now so that you can farm like these subscriptions to unlock your sniper rifle bullcrap while I'm looking at my Baldur's Gate 3 wiki. And I can't even see that you're doing that because I resized my window so that I can have more real estate on my screen, in which case your thing freaking disappears from all existence, let alone the fact that it's muted and autoplaying.
Seems like intentional manipulation. That's because it is intentional manipulation. Like, what value is it to the viewer that there's a tiny little stream at the bottom left-hand corner of the bottom right-hand corner of the screen? So, how does a person read it? So this is actually, this is actually very interesting. Now we're going to get into a little bit of psychology. So you have a book, right? Or you have a screen. This is how people read screens in English language, right? Obviously in Japan it'd be different because they consume, like manga is different, right? They
left
go like
to right,
this.
top to bottom. So you put it in the very last place.
So whenever the screen is right here, it's clearly intentionally manipulative. Most people never see it. Yeah, and that's what they rely on. I don't get why embedding is useful or needed in the first place. All right, let me explain why. Higher viewer count, concurrent viewer count is the main metric that people use in order to determine.
And that's the other thing, is you could really just think about it. If they wanted to improve the situation for advertisers, if that was their sole focus, screw the viewers, screw the streamers, we just want to keep making the ad revenue that supports Twitch. Why aren't you creating more ways for metrics to be shown? Why is the only metric for measuring the quality of a stream viewership? Why is there not more to break down what's happening? I mean, you have unique chatters and like seeing where people are tuning in from. But I mean, YouTube has all kinds of demographic breakdowns. There's something inherently wrong with the way that they present analytics, in my opinion. That could be improved for the sake of just improving streams across the board. But these things all, again, take implementation costs. There's not enough money. So, you know, there's this notion that Dan Clancy is going to take action. I'm so skeptical as to what he's going to do because I don't think whatever action he plans to take is going to amount to getting rid of embed viewership not counting. I don't think it's going there. I think it's going to continue to count. And what he mentioned in Quinn's interview is that changing the way that discovery works. So, meaning, if you open up a certain category while browsing and you're trying to discover a certain stream, the recommended streams might be manipulated in this way, where like you kick Fextra Life to the bottom because screw you, your embedded viewership is not worthwhile to us. But if the user manually goes over and says, okay, show me viewership high to low, Extra Life still pops up at the top. So I don't think that solves the problem if that's their plan.
Determine whether somebody is a like a big streamer or not, right? It's not how many followers you have. I mean, all these things matter, but it's primarily view count. Right. So basically, if your viewer count is high, advertisers are going to pay more money, and they're being scammed because you're saying your viewer count is high and it's not really that high because the people aren't really watching the stream, logically, right? So that's number one. Number two, the other issue is that, it's directory placement. So if you're higher in the directory, you'll get more people that are organically going to see your stream. Like, for example, if I want to watch a stream for Fortnite, well, the first person I'm going to see is Ninja. And so most people are going to click on Ninja because he's the first thing they see. So if the first thing or the third thing they see, right, because there's a cascading benefit here.
I mean, even if you're not so quick to click on the one with the most viewership, you start doing an analysis. You say, okay, 8.7, 3, 1.1, 700. Okay, so I mean, maybe I'll click on the 3,000 viewer person, but this person has 5,000 more viewers plus. Maybe I'll click in here for a little while and see what's going on. And depending on how quickly these numbers are being refreshed, you might already have inflated that number enough that those who are less discerning and are willing to just click in right away are just going to go right over there.
Why does Twitch give the embed option in the first place? There's a lot of reasons for it. It's a
There's so many
reasons.
reasons.
Yeah, exactly. Why is it even an option? I think that some people, I don't really know. I think Twitch uses it sometimes even. Can you explain how falling into the trap ruined that person's experience? Just don't watch. Well, so the reason why it probably ruined their experience is that they watched a person who was incredibly fucking boring, not doing anything, and
then they create an idea in their minds that this is how all streams are. This is Twitch. I hate it. I'm not coming back.
See that nothing is going on in the game. It's incredibly lame. There's no viewer experience going on. It's just a really, bad at the game. I don't know about bad at the game. I have no idea. But, like, it's hard to be bad at New World. But, sure. So, like, they're going to get their first impression of a game. Like, how many of you guys, like, you started playing a video game because you saw a really cool video of that video game? Me, many times, right? So, is it really unreasonable to say that the opposite can also be true? Okay. All right, let's go. Let's go, Carl Maxwell. Betting is fine. Bad take. Why is it bad? Explain yourself and your thinking. And let's get to the bottom of this.
It's all good. You're just jealous. I take it back. I love you. Don't ban, please.
Zach, I love you. Just jealous.
Ah.
No, I don't like you.
Oh, you're just a troll. You get banned. That's what you get. You're just one of those, I'm gonna say whatever I have to say to get attention people. You got a ban.
Asmongold has to be right about everything.
Fish too hard, caught the big shark. You get the jaws.
Okay. Alright, you're gonna have your chance right now, Stony. Tell me what I'm wrong about.
Asmongold has to be right about everything.
Okay.
Oh no.
He's charging up his, I'm sure he's cooking up a good one. Betting helps troll streamers avoid the tyranny of view count and lack of discoverability on Twitch. You hate the idea that someone might maintain content outside of Twitch that adds value and drives viewers to them. Okay.
Okay, Extra Life bot.
Let me go ahead and address that. All right, let's deconstruct this. Embedding helps small streamers avoid the tyranny of view count and lack of discoverability on Twitch. Yes, it does, by allowing them to join the tyrannical class. You hate the idea that someone might maintain content outside of Twitch that adds value and drives viewers to them.
First of all, you spelled adds value wrong. Anyway, it doesn't drive viewers to them. There's very few people. If they actually think Asmon is a tyrant, I wonder what they think about Fextralife mods. Yeah, I mean, I can only imagine, you talk about the classic Reddit mod as a meme, but moderators in general can kind of have a bit of a power trip, can't they? So it's interesting the way that this person has their perspective of embedding helps small streamers avoid the tyranny of view count. How do you drive traffic to your website? By using search engine optimization and posting articles that don't have information relevant to what people are looking for, and then maybe people happen to click into the stream, but most of the time it's counting even though people aren't even aware that the stream is happening. And even if it's being played off to the side, it's muted and people don't have any awareness of what the Twitch ecosystem is and that they're counting towards viewership at all. Most users aren't going to like reach up to the top left and hit pause to stop their view from counting. They're just letting it roll while they're browsing around trying to figure it out. Why does Fextralife need mods? Nobody actually watches that trash. Yeah, I tuned into one time. I was watching a Starfield stream. This guy's playing Starfield and he's just got like a cat cam off to the side. I don't remember what he was talking about. It was totally irremarkable, immemorable, boring, dull.
My YouTube is my primary source of income and revenue. Actually, it's not. My companies are. But my YouTube is my second primary source. And so like the idea that like I need Twitch is relevant. I don't run any ads on this channel. I don't have any subs on this channel. I might have to change that. I don't know yet. We'll see what happens. But right now I don't. And I haven't for years. So like you're wrong on everything. You have to admit Twitch has crap discoverability, and this is part of why they added raids. There was a time whenever you did need Twitch though.
Shrug emote.
I would actually argue that's not the case. And the reason why...
Yeah, someone doesn't know their Asmongold history. He showed up to Twitch after being well established on YouTube. Everybody came over from YouTube, and he was fine.
I would argue that's not the case is I actually began on YouTube, and my YouTube channel was much more successful than my Twitch channel. That's why my first stream that I ever did had 250 viewers. And
right.
Then my second stream had 1,000. It's because of my YouTube channel. And that's where I've always been popular. And then once my videos got really popular on YouTube, that's whenever I went from getting 8,000 average viewers to 30,000 average viewers in like a month or two. So yeah. Also, Twitch having crap discoverability is not a justification to cheat and then basically
undermine the system for everyone else and ruin the entire potential, not only for themselves, but for everyone around them.
Like basically hot potato that problem onto the next person. We'll see if this person has a response yet. Of course not. So if you could embed Twitch on YouTube, you might have driven a higher view count. It doesn't seem like cheating. So if you could embed Twitch on YouTube, you might have driven a higher view count. Yeah, you could have done that. Yeah, for sure. I like your content a lot, but it seems like you'd never be wrong about anything, and comes off a little narcissistic. The reason why I'm not wrong about this is because I know the facts better than the people that are talking about them, and I'm confident about that, and I'm asserting my knowledge of that information. There are many things that I say lots of times, like for example, the Tarkov stuff. I don't know what's going on in the Tarkov section, and
Well, if he's talking about Twitch embeds in general not being allowed to be a thing, I disagree. If that's what he was saying, and that's how I heard it, there shouldn't be Twitch embeds in general. Someone asked, why are Twitch embeds even allowed in general? He's like, I don't know, maybe they shouldn't be. Wrong, in my opinion. Embedding content makes sense in a lot of contexts. But in the context in which it's being used and abused by these creators like Fextralife, that is wrong.
I just said, I don't want to talk about that. I don't know what's going on with that. I have no idea. So it's funny that you bring that up whenever, even inside of this individual topic, there is something that I clearly explained. I don't know what I'm talking about. That's it. I don't know. So yeah, I'm confident in my opinion because I'm an expert in the space. That's the case. It's a literal fact. It's not an opinion. It's a fact. I know what I'm talking about. Go for it. Okay. I just think what FX Life isn't easier, everyone would do it. They
create good content outside of Twitch and subsidize it. What good content?
Good content out of Twitch and then subsidize it. Okay. So let's talk a little bit about, yeah, you can type it again. So anyway, let's talk about this. So if, let's say, I have a website, let's say Starforge, right? We never do this. Let's say Starforge starts selling embedding. Like, you can go to Starforge, like, for example, Joker can go to Starforge and give us $1,000, and we will embed his stream onto the front of our page. And theoretically, right, what if, right?
Every page that you navigate on the Starforge website, you get the embed.
We were getting 10,000 average viewers on our website all the time. Like, that would be really cool, right? So, like, imagine, like, theoretically, right? This is a theoretical scenario. That a person spends $1,000.
It's a good hypothetical.
10,000 viewers. Do you think that is functionally different than viewbotting? Because it's something that you didn't earn yourself, and all you're doing is you're paying somebody else to embed you.
Right.
So if I had a really charismatic streamer, that wouldn't be hurting the viewers on Twitch thinking the game was boring.
What if Extra Life had a really charismatic streamer that wouldn't be hurting the viewers on Twitch by thinking the game was boring or something? So this person thinks it's strictly about the fact that when you tune into a Extra Life stream, it's boring as But it goes beyond that. It's the fact that whether the stream is entertaining or not, they're representing their viewership numbers based on numbers that don't actually present live eyes on their stream. It's a tiny screen off to the side. It doesn't matter if I convinced them to increase their height of their HTML element by 100 pixels, so now they have a 400 by 400 box. It's still a shit user experience. It doesn't drive people to the Twitch ecosystem. Anybody who's on Twitch is already on Twitch. Embeds are usually a addition to people who are already invested in the Twitch ecosystem. It doesn't, I would say more often than not, people who are viewing embeds are already part of the Twitch ecosystem or have no interest in Twitch whatsoever. I don't think it drives traffic to Twitch at all.
If they were very charismatic, they wouldn't lose followers every stream. Embedding isn't the problem. The problem is the embed number should not add to Twitch site viewers.
Right.
Really great point, Vader. I totally agree with you. It sucks, but let's not pretend that Twitch viewers is a purely meritocratic process. I'm also not being devil's advocate. I think Extra Life adds value to the gaming space with their site, and they're able to do it in part with funds from Twitch. Okay.
I don't know who said that, but...
Okay, so let's go ahead and address this right now. Let's go ahead and break this down. That would suck. Okay, so that's bad then, right? Okay, so the situation that I created is bad. And why is it bad?
I think Extra Life, it's funny how they keep typing the word ads as in an ad and not ADDS, adding value. They don't add value, they get ads value. Agreed. I've looked at Extra Life by accident looking for information. There have been times where it felt like they used some kind of API to just input information that's being generated from a database rather than any sort of content that they generated themselves. And a lot of their articles feel like you just as easily could have had AI write it for you. Like, I could go to Bing and be like, write me a guide about how to accomplish this. And then Bing Chat aggregates the information and puts it into a nice summary for me. I paste it into a paragraph element and put my site live. Like, what do you mean adding value to the gaming community?
Bad, because it's functionally the exact same thing. So, like, what you're saying is that if the person builds it themselves they should have the right to take advantage of it. So if somebody builds a viewbot, should they have the right to take advantage of that under the same logic? Because I feel like that's kind of the same thing, because both of them functionally accomplish the same goal. So I think that's not true at all. It's a bad idea. Let's not pretend like Twitch viewers is a purely meritocratic process. You are absolutely right. But what in life is? Is there anything in life that has a purely meritocratic process? I think.
And why are we even bringing that up as part of the discussion? The whole point is that it's unethical. If you don't have an ethical belief system, then of course this argument doesn't matter to you. Moot point.
That there is absolutely not. And because there's not, then I think that it doesn't mean that it's okay to just cheat and do whatever you want. Does that make sense? So just because something is not meritocratic entirely doesn't mean that it's doesn't mean that it's okay to cheat. Meritocracy is a fantasy. Meritocracy is a fantasy, but meritocracy is also an ideal. And it should be what you strive towards.
Right.
You should strive that the people who work the hardest, who try the most, and create the best product and the best experience for viewers should be the ones that gain the rewards and they gain the benefits from those actions.
And it doesn't take long for people to realize. You know, sure, there's this notion that anything on the internet lacks authenticity, but you don't even know that word, meritocracy? It comes from the word merit. So just think about it that way. People of merit should be rewarded for their merit. In a meritocracy, if you lack merit, you should suffer. But they're diverging from this ideal by prospering using effectively viewbotting to cheat the system. These people are so hella pretentious. I'm a little bit pretentious at times. I'll try not to be. What can I say? I'm always happy to explain myself, though, in different words. You know, why use many word when few word do trick? These guys think that they are morally superior by having their website that ranks highly on Google search. People click into their page and they get views they don't deserve on Twitch. Therefore, they can represent themselves in negotiations with advertisers they seek out on their own outside of Twitch. They say, hey, we get this many viewers on Twitch. Let us put a panel on our Twitch page for you, and people will click in and buy your product. Well, that's great. What do we do? Oh, you just pay us up front? No questions asked. Done. And they make money. That's ridiculous.
And everything that takes you away from that is generally a bad thing. Also, I'm not being devil's advocate. I think Extrastrife adds value to the gaming space with their site, and they're able to do it in part with funds from Twitch. The ends justify the means argument. It's okay for them to cheat because their cheating is beneficial to other people. Let's go to a website.
Sorry for the flashbang. It's so silly to me to think that, oh, well, it's okay to do a little bit of bad in favor of a lot more good. But this subjective notion of good is completely undermined if you spend any time on their website.
Maxroll.gg. I probably should subscribe to this. Or is there any embedding on this website? No, there's not. And I'm going to say it, and everybody knows it's true. This website is 10x better.
I haven't spent any time on this website. I've actually never heard of maxroll.gg, but just seeing some of the animations and the interface in general, this looks so clean. Like, let's take it a step further and just look at Fextralife real fast. Oh, I'm off kilter with my keyboard right now. Wikis. Let's go to the Baldur's Gate 3 wiki. With these ugly little pieces of interface that are all one size fits all, cutting off elements of the thing that they have pasted in. Like, there's no accounting for sizing whatsoever. It's just, get it out there quick. We got to get to the top of the page so that we can quickly have our big ass embed here, farm us some more viewers so we can make some more money. I should
20x
close
better
this just so I don't give them another viewer.
than what you have on F Extra Life. No embedding. Do you know why? Integrity.
Integrity.
And it's the same reason.
Merit. Morals. Ethics.
Also, that the guys from Maxroll would have had their names at the top of the statue for Diablo 4, and they said, no, take us off. It's not fair. Unironic integrity. So no, I don't agree with you that it's necessary, and here's an example of why it's not. A better website that doesn't have embedding. So it's got Cyberpunk and Elden Ring content. So it's okay to embed if you're playing certain games, but not if you're playing other ones. Reality favors those with money. Go pay for a boob job and do hot tub streams. I think guys are going to destroy a good site that adds value with their weird pursuit of viewer account on Twitch, okay? So let's go ahead and address that.
It's not a good site. Who paid this guy?
Go pay for a boob job and do hot tub streams. Let's go ahead and use your logic, okay? And I want to move on past this. We've been going on with this for too long. Where's the hot tub stream category? Where is it? I must have passed it. It's got to be higher up than this, right?
I don't even see it.
5,000 viewers.
Oh.
Wow. So this girl has 3,000 viewers. I have to scroll all the way down to here to see one girl doing a hot tub stream. So if you're going to say that this is some sort of metric for success or something like that, it's just not the case. It's just factually not true. Hot tub streams and sexual streams are such a tiny fraction of the Twitch viewership. It's completely disproportionate, the emphasis people put on them.